Good. And then slowly walking your hands and feet towards one another, standing up. Inhale to reach your arms up. Exhale, arms out and down. Arms at your sides. Feeling all of your toes. You could give them a little wiggle. Could go a little bit of a rock on your feet. Feel the balls and heels of your feet. Tadasana or mountain pose. 3 breaths here, arms relaxed. All right, we're going to take our ball again. And you could hold a wall or at your chair, the back of your chair. You could even sit down. We're just stand without anything like I'm going to show. I'm going to roll out one of my feet. So just stick with one side to start. And we're just going to do this briefly today. If you want to pause on a spot or do any of the other ball tricks we do on the feet, go for it, okay? Okay, when you're ready, stand on both feet again. Notice the difference in the 2 sides. All right, second side. All right, and then you can scoot your ball off to the side and stand back in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just notice if anything feels different now. Let's come back to that same length, inhale and exhale. Okay, Samavritri. Here we go. Inhaling for 4 or longer. And exhaling for the same length. You could use your pursed lip exhale, or you could use a sigh or a Ujjayi exhale. All right, and now we're going to face the seat of our chair. You can stay with that same kind of breathing. As you inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, let's hinge at your hips and fold, hands to chair. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, right foot under chair. Step left foot back, heel up. Inhale, reach your chest forward, shoulders down your back. Exhale, step your back foot in a little bit. Right leg joins it and come into down dog. 3 breaths here. Getting long through your torso. So really stretching out from your fingertips all the way to your hips. You can always have your knees bent. And then inhale, bending knees, look between the legs of your chair. Exhale, step the left leg forward. You might need to back up the right leg to get the heel up. Now, when I say shoulders down your back, what I mean is actually just away from your ears, relaxing your shoulder blades down. Good. Not a lot of weight on your hands. And then on the next exhale, we're going to bring that left foot a little bit out from under the chair and just step the right leg forward. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, bend the knees, weight in heels. Inhale to stand. And exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, let's step right leg back to our lunge. Heel up if you can, or heel off floor if you can. Inhale, shoulder blades down back. Exhale, step right leg in a little bit, back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And then inhale, look between the legs of the chair. Exhale, right leg steps under chair. You might need to back left leg up. Inhale, shoulder blades down back. Exhale, step right leg out from under chair a little bit. Left leg steps forward. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, bend knees, sitting toward the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Good. All right. Now, just going to feel the feet on the floor again, standing in Tadasana. All right. We're going to try to lift. You can look down at them too. Look down at your toes and see if you can lift all 10 of your toes off the floor while pressing the balls of the feet down. Keep breathing. Good. And you can look down. You can even use your hands to help you or sit in a chair and do that. I'm going to try to tap the big toe up and down. So tap it down to the floor and back up while keeping the other toes lifted. Just see if your toes can do this. Again, you can assist. That'll help your brain get it too. Good. Now leave the big toes up. Let's try to put all of the other toes down. So the other 8 toes down. Good. And then see if you can lift and lower the other 8 toes up and down. Good. And then just relax your feet. You can scrunch and release your feet. Ah. All right. Now, we're going to be standing in a warrior 2 pose. So if you feel a little bit unbalanced here, what you could do is you could take the back of your chair and just put it in front of you like this, okay? I'm not going to have this here so you can see me, all right? But I'd have my right toes open to the side. I'm going to kick my left heel back a little bit, but I'm not facing the right leg with my belly button, facing the side, right? And we're just going to start by bending and straightening that right knee. So we'll exhale, bend the knee, inhale, straighten it, and repeat, okay? So here, exhale, bend. And you could even do it like this, have one hand on your chair. And as you're doing this, could you look at your knee and foot and just see, is the knee, is it going toward the center of the foot as it bends, or is it going toward the big toe side of the pinky? Just notice where it's going. Okay. And now we're going to very slowly and carefully start to I need to take this sock off, keeps coming off. I'm going to start to take the knee inward a little bit. So as I do this, my foot is rolling toward the big toe side and my knee is kind of coming in. So usually how I tell you not to do warrior 2, okay? But we're trying to see how it feels with different positions of our knee and what our foot feels like when our knee is like that. Okay, so try to build that brain body connection. And we also we want to be able to be strong and mobile in all angles. Right? Okay, now let's try to go toward the outer foot. So the foot kind of rolls to the pinky toe side and the knee opens toward that side. Try that a couple times. Okay, now we're going to go around in a circle. Right? Again, you can be holding a chair. So I'm circling from pinky toe to big toe, and now from big toe to pinky toe. Good. And then back to center. Now I'm just going to try to go straight down the middle and notice if I can feel even pressure through the foot. Relax through your shoulders, and then let's hold there for just a couple breaths. You might even bring your arms up. Good. And then straightening the leg. We're going to switch sides. Okay. So we'll kick the right heel back. Open the left foot into warrior two pose. Okay, just a little, not a huge one. Okay, first I'm just coming in and out, bending and straightening. I'm gonna look at my front knee and foot and just notice where it's naturally going, what part of my foot, what the knee looks like moving there, if it's steady or wobbly. Good. And now we'll practice going toward the inner foot, just carefully. Okay, you want to make sure you don't have pain. And I go to the inner foot and the knees kind of crashing in as well. Feels quite different for me on this side. This is my non-knee injured side. Okay, now I'm going to go toward the outer foot. So I lean toward the pinky toe edge of the foot. The knee and hip have to open a lot more. I feel a bigger stretch on my inner thigh. Good. Now I'm going to go around in a circle on the foot, and the knee is circling as well. And then reversing. Good. And then I'm going to try to go straight down the middle. The sock is coming off as well. So just straight down the middle. I'm going to look at it to see. And then if you want to, you can hold that pose, warrior two. You might even take the arms up. Remembering your breath, the even breath. Good. And then coming out when you're ready, legs straightens. Let's walk the feet toward one another. All right, feeling yourself in Tadasana pose again. All 10 of your toes, shoulders, top of head reaching towards ceiling. Breathing in and out. All right, find a focal point. If you want to, you can put your back against a wall for balance support, but we're just going to try to keep this really small so that you can try it without balance support as well. Okay, we're going to do tree pose. And so to do that, we're going to bring the left foot first, or the left side first. So right leg is down, left knee bends, excuse me, turning the knee out toward the side, any amount that allows you to stay lifted through the hips. So in this version right here, I have a little kickstand on the floor, another point on the floor. You could also try to take your foot off the floor. You could even bring that foot up to your inner thigh, possibly. Okay, so any of those places. And your hands can come together to touch in front of your chest, or they might reach up toward the ceiling. Keep breathing. Relax your face, relax your jaw. One more breath, tree pose. And then coming down. All right, second side, kind of step side to side a little bit. Get your focal point. Then right knee bends, knee turns out. If it feels okay, you can have a little kickstand here. Just don't want to stay, see how I pushed my hip over? You want to try to stay upright through the center. Okay, any height with the foot. Face calm, breathing. Good. And then coming down when you're ready. All right, we're going to combine some things together. So I'm going to take the chair along my right side. Okay, that's just right here. And I'm going to start out in tree pose. Okay, so you can be holding your chair if you want. You don't have to. I'm going to inhale, stand tall. Exhale, bring my left foot into tree pose. You can take the palms to touch if you want. Inhale. Now, as you exhale, I'm going to bring the knee forward and start to take the leg back behind you. Now, it's okay if the toes are on the floor. They could be up. You're going to keep your chest lifted a little bit, even as you hinge, and your hand could always grab the chair. Good. Inhale here. Exhale back to tree pose. Inhale here. Exhale back to warrior three pose. Remember, you can use the chair. Inhale here. Exhale back to tree. Last time. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale. Exhale, let's stand up. All right, step side to side. You can turn your body around, have the support on your left side if you want it. Inhale, get your focal point, stand tall. Exhale, right leg comes into tree. Inhale. Exhale, bring the knee forward and go back into warrior three pose. Inhale. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three pose. Inhale. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three. This is the last movement. Inhale. Exhale, stand. Pause. Let's swing and twist a little bit. Let the arms flop around. Relax your jaw. All right. You can leave your chair where it is. Okay. Then take our right leg forward and the left leg back, warrior one pose. Okay. So feet are hips distance, back heel is down in this one. I'm going to lean forward and I can just use my quadricep, my thigh to prop, or I might take my chair in front of me and I'm going to extend through the spine. And I'm trying to get into my back calf. So the lower back of leg as I work my heel toward the floor. I'm going to try to lift my front toes. They're not going to actually come off the floor, but it's like I'm trying to do that. A couple more breaths there. Good, and then slowly coming up. And now the right leg back, same thing, okay? Just finding the position that works for you as far as feeling a stretch in that back ankle or calf. Jaw relaxed, face relaxed. Good, and then stepping up and noticing. Following your breath in and following your breath out. Noticing how your feet feel, feeling all 10 toes, balls of feet, heels of feet. Good. All right. We're going to come down to the floor for a little bit of breath work. So you can sit in the chair if you prefer. Also, we are going to be practicing a legs up the wall pose. Now, if I didn't mention that you might need a wall earlier. So if you want a wall space, just getting that, finding that in a moment. You could also do legs over chair if you don't have a wall space. Okay, so that would be legs just 90 degrees over the chair. If you have a chair like me, where your feet could go through this little hole, Then when you do that, it'll face this way. Your legs come over the chair, your feet go through here. But if you have like a dining chair, you'll have to turn the chair to the side, right? So your legs won't get stopped by the back of the chair. All right. With all of that said, I'm just taking my my mat close to the wall, or you could also sit in your chair. I'm going to come down to the floor, getting a pillow or a blanket to sit on. Have a seat. You could also sit against the wall. Your legs can be in any position that they feel best. Okay, so we've been practicing that breath with an even inhale and an even exhale, right? Same length. Now we'll try a longer exhale, maybe even twice as long as your inhale. All right, so to work up towards that, we can work toward the Ujjayi breathing or Ujjayi breathing, the victory breath. So we'll start like this. We'll do pursed lip exhale, like you're blowing out through a straw slowly. So it's inhale like you're inhaling a pretty smell of a flower. And then exhale, blowing out through pursed lips. And repeat. Just notice if you, with this version, are able to get that exhale longer than your inhale. Okay. Now, you can continue with that, or you could blow out like you're sighing or fogging up a mirror or your glasses. It makes a little sound in the back of your throat, like this. By constricting the back of your throat, it makes the space smaller that the air is coming out, so it slows down that exhale. So it just gives you a little assistance. So just, see how these two have gone so far. You can stick with either one of those. You could also close your mouth to practice the Ujjayi breathing, where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose, but it'll feel like you're sighing against the back of your lips on the inside, okay? Still making that little sound like the sigh. Now I'm working toward making my exhale 2 times longer than my inhale. So I'm inhaling for 4, I'm exhaling for 8. All right, now either coming into legs over the chair, as I described before, or legs up the wall. Okay, I'm going to come into legs up the wall. Either one is fine. I'm just grabbing myself a little head and neck support. I'm going to put my blanket over my body. This pose feels really good to me after being on my feet for a long time. If you are quite flexible in the hamstrings, then you might get your butt right against the wall because there won't be a lot of tension there. If that's like a big stretch for you, then you can back your hips up, right? So there's not as much. You could back them up even more than this, okay? Again, over the chair, it would look, something like this with them bent. All right, and I'm gonna get mine close. You decide, take your time, decide what feels best to you, and come on into it when you're ready. Now, if your blood pressure is really high and it's not controlled, it might feel like too much to take your legs up, in which case, don't do it. Okay, can change, but typically your blood pressure will start to regulate once you get into it if you're not having any struggles with that. And you can work with that longer exhale for several breaths. And you can let your breath go. Let it be natural.